I like that flare there at the end.
Yeah. So, how have you been?
Oh,
How
I've
you
been
feeling?
wonderful,
Good,
man.
good. How was your Earth Day?
My Earth Day, it went well. I celebrated it by driving a shit ton
Yeah.
and, you know, saying a prayer for the Earth.
Yeah, right. Kind of need that.
Yeah, when was Earth Day? Was it like last week?
I don't know. Since the last time we recorded,
Yeah.
that's all I really know.
It's been more like Earth Week.
Yeah, well, I mean, every day is Earth Day in my book, but you know, for Earth Day, I really had to stop and think about, what role I have with nature, my relationship with nature, if you will.
That's important. We have to go back to our roots, go back to where we came from. Fucking, why do sharks get a whole week, but the Earth just gets a day?
That is...
I don't get it.
It's because sharks are cool and they bite shit and they're kind of scary, but they're like fighter jets of the water, Like fighter jets, just their purpose is to kill people, but they're fucking cool. And everybody, when they see them, they're just like, whoa, because they're just impressive. Sharks are the same way.
The Earth is pretty impressive. Like, sustaining
Yeah,
life.
but it's like impressive in a way where like you have to be in the right parts, and most people live in kind of the bullshit parts of it. Like, where we live, there's a certain beauty from the right angles and whatnot and during the right time of day. But like a lot of times when we're experiencing the Earth, it's like we're on a freeway and we're just like, ugh.
Yeah, or an airplane. Or, I recently went on a really nice run. That was beautiful. It kind of brings you back into nature. And one of the things that I really liked about it is I went down to the Bosque, and after the first half of my run, I go down to the river and I just stare off into the water.
Yeah.
I think that's like a really great experience. Like staring off into the water is one of those activities you could do that doesn't make you look like a crazy person.
Yeah, totally.
But it's just really like serene. It's still like entertaining, but there isn't really much going on.
Yeah, I could stare out at the ocean for hours.
I know.
And it's relaxing. Yeah. I mean, lately I've been going on my lunch and just going over to the Bosque, walking down because I'm right there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
But it made me feel like a huge perv, and I'll tell you why. Because then there was some geese, and they were showering or bathing in the river, and I just sat there watching them. I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful, so majestic. And I'm like, wait, I'm watching two creatures shower and
perverted nature
mess with each other.
I wouldn't.
I'm like, this
I wouldn't
wouldn't
feel...
be acceptable if I was watching, Steve taking a shower, or your neighbor taking a shower. Just like, oh.
But if I was really showering in the ocean or in the river, I feel like it's like fair game.
It's fair game. All right.
It all depends on location. I don't know. I think most animals are exhibitionists, but some people's Earth days and their relationship with nature is a little different. Like recently, I saw this story. It was on the Huffington Post, and it was reporting on a show that's on TLC. So naturally, this is,
it's my favorite
high
It's my favorite
quality journalism here.
What's TLC stand for again? Just real quick.
The Learning Channel.
The Learning Channel. Okay, great.
Yeah. So I don't think they've really stood for that so much in the last decade or so, or however long it's been, but originally, I think now that, if they ever had to like change some documents or something like a filing, with the FCC or something like that, they probably just dropped off like the Learning Channel. They're just TLC.
Yeah.
Like, what does that stand for?
It's our brand.
Does not matter.
Exactly.
It's TLC.
All right.
Anyway, so according to the TLC series, Sex Sent Me to the ER.
Ooh.
A man identified as Sean went to a Chicago emergency room because of some serious pain in his urinary tract, right? Sean was having trouble urinating, but wouldn't explain why. According to the show, the threat of having a catheter inserted into him got him to spill the beans. According to emergency physician Dr. Katerina Nguyen? Yeah.
She sounds Asian.
Yeah.
Most doctors.
Yeah, right. A catheter is like a truth serum. All of a sudden, the truth comes out. So, he said his ailment started when his wife started criticizing his sexual performance and daring him to be more adventurous.
Okay.
Right? So we're seeing, sex leads you to the hospital. He's trying to get adventurous,
Yeah.
So to satisfy her, he decided to spend some time naked in the great outdoors to find his sexual spirit.
Okay.
Okay? So, I mean,
do as the antelope and the bunny rabbits do.
Yeah, I mean that seems weird to me. Like my wife or any significant others like criticizing my performance in some way, so I'm gonna go be
Practice
naked
on a sheep.
Well, yeah, like are you gonna like what does that mean exactly? Like I'm gonna go be naked in the woods? Like that's a really weird way to, I don't know.
Maybe he's a romanticist or a transcendentalist, and he channeled in his inner Ralph Waldo
So he's
Emerson.
trying to get the mindset of a true lover, and of course nature being
the true romantic,
the best lover. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've seen my fair share of like animal mating videos or whatever from like all through my like they always just kind of pop up and it like throughout your life and you're just like, gee, that looks awful.
Nature's a bitch.
You're at the
If it's one
zoo
thing
and
that
there's
I've
some
learned.
zebras going at it and you're just like, God, they're meat like
Ducks with their corkscrew cocks.
Sure, like nature's not a gentle or skilled lover in my mind.
Skilled, it's really good at reproducing, but
sure.
But in terms of satisfaction and intimacy, maybe not.
Okay, well, yeah. So, but maybe it just depends on the animal. So he's trying to find his sexual spirit, and he, quote, is frolicking around, enjoying the sunshine and being with nature. And the doctor says, then a legless lizard slithered near him. It started getting closer. Before you know it, it's climbing on his leg.
And he just lets it.
It's creeping up his leg and closer until eventually it crawls right up into his urethra.
What the fuck?
Right?
God.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
How did, like,
That escalated quickly.
That's the flimsiest fucking story I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. Like, have you ever been anywhere and like thought like, oh God, this animal won't get away from my crotch, other than like a dog trying to smell your crotch?
See, I get kind of paranoid if I go, to the Jemez cliff jumps, because you're kind of wading through some deep river water, and that
Sure.
river water is fucking filthy.
Sure.
You don't know what's in there, so
Right.
I'm always paranoid about some kind of parasite, maybe for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then I just move on.
Right.
But if I see something approaching me slowly,
Say
and
you
I'm
saw
like,
a snake though crawling up your leg, or in this case, a legless lizard.
So how fucked up was he? Is what I want. to know.
Yeah,
Like,
I
who goes out and just wants to have this
And
experience
frolic in nature?
I'm thinking, what is this guy, native?
Well, I don't think so. His name is Sean, and he's from Chicago, so I'm guessing he's pretty white. Not to mention he's putting legless lizards into his pee hole. And he's got this like flimsy story, like, yeah, my wife was not down with my performance,
Sure.
so I went out into nature and.
Why is this a legless lizard? Like,
Is it
really good looking?
I don't
Has a
know.
bow and arrow or something.
I don't know. The leglet. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it crawled into his urethra, and he found it awkward that he enjoyed the pleasurable sensation. And so the doctor was eventually able to remove the legless lizard's carcass, or
If I
probably
was a doctor,
parts
I
of
would
it.
have kept it in there. This
Right?
guy wins
Teach
the
you a
Darwin
lesson.
Award.
Right.
You do not reproduce.
I mean, it just.
Do not collect $200.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like if you're gonna go through that, why make up a story? Just admit you're a weirdo.
Yeah.
Or is that like a bestiality thing? Like, would you go to jail for that? Like, if you admit to it, you're just like, ugh. But really, like, what investigators like looking into this and is just like, yeah,
Like,
I totally believe that.
it's like-
That story is 100% bulletproof.
So, follow up. What happened with his wife? Is she
Didn't say.
satisfied now?
Didn't say. I imagine she's a little less satisfied. However satisfied she was before this incident, I imagine she's quite a bit less satisfied.
She's questioning her life.
I don't think.
Did I really marry this
right?
guy?
I don't think too many ladies are just like, oh, he did that for me out of love. Like, I don't think that's the reaction.
Just sitting on the front dock. I could have married a doctor.
Right. Yeah.
Except I get this guy who's got lizards crawling up his dick hole.
So Earth Day, yeah, that's how that's how some people spend their Earth Day.
Yeah, that's a great way to spend your Earth Day.
Is Earth Day kind of like a flim flam of a holiday? It's not really a holiday though, is it?
It's more like
I know it's like a
you observe
awareness or whatever, but that's essentially what all holidays are, right? It's like St. Patrick's Day is like awareness that St. Patrick rid somewhere of snakes or something, right?
Well, I guess
What
it's
the fuck
not.
is that sound?
I don't know. Weird. Maybe it's your tablet trying to play something.
No, it better not be.
Well, I don't think it's officially a holiday unless there is a meal and lots of alcohol that's consumed for it.
Sure.
So, unless you have that, then it's a holiday. You know, Thanksgiving, Christmas,
So
Martin Luther King Day. You know,
on Martin Luther King Day, what's the cuisine for that one?
we're gonna go there.
I don't know. You said a meal. It has to have a meal and a what and a get together.
And you know, a beverage. You know, something that you drink and
Right.
you get jolly and you get fucked up.
Yeah. So MLK Day. Shoot. What are you eating?
Well, you know, if I go over to my aunt's house, she likes to get her soul food going on. So she likes to make some kind of gumbo, and she throws her own flair on it. Not
I was thinking pizza,
Oh, yeah,
just 'cause it's for everyone.
I guess. Yeah.
Nobody really owns pizza. It's equitable. Like Italians are like, oh, we're all about. Italians are geographically African anyway, so it's just kind of like
The
it's
south of Europe.
yeah, it's north meets south at that point.
All right. Well, this is my family, you know.
Right.
My aunt, she is not black per se, but she has had a lot of black boyfriends. So she has a really great grits, or gumbo, sorry, recipe
Sure.
that she makes. And she's also makes like fucking phenomenal hot wings, dude. Like, these are some of the best hot wings that
Hot
I've
wings
ever
are a
had.
good MLK Day
Yeah.
kind of thing. I don't know.
She makes them herself, though. Like,
That's awesome.
she doesn't, like, raise the chickens or anything like that. But,
Who does, really?
fries them, fucking makes her own little sauce, and serves them. They're amazing, dude. Like, if you think of, Tufel's, Chama, or whatever, the best wings that you could imagine, hers, top notch.
I'm pretty picky about my wings. Like, I really like wings, but I like them kind of crispy and stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody's always got these, like, soggy motherfuckers. And it's like the skin's all gross. Like,
Well, it's one of those things that you use a lot of oil to prepare.
yeah.
But
I just
if you
want
make
mine,
it yourself, you're able to really control
yeah,
that.
no, I just want mine real crispy. And I don't want to make my own,
Yeah.
frankly.
Well, next time my aunt is
And besides,
Martin Luther King
like
Day,
the
you
little
come over.
wing bits, like, am I gonna go to some butcher and just be like, yeah, I just want the wings off of every, like I feel like the wing isn't something I can just buy as easily unless it's already been turned into like some bullshit Tyson version of whatever.
Yeah. Well, next time Martin Luther King Day rolls around.
Yeah, next
you'll come over.
MLK Day,
You'll
that'll
come
be
over.
so cool. Like, yeah, we should definitely do that. But
Sweet.
so
And it goes really well with some 40s. So.
Well, now you're just being offensive, and I know you're trying to be offensive, making some sort of point.
Yep.
But is that?
That's it. That's how we celebrate MLK
So I
Day.
mean, MLK Day.
Stop being.
I would
That's just
say-
my family, Steve. Right?
Sure. I
Like,
mean, I would say that that's like a fully legitimate holiday. But like, there's so many holidays that are like not very legitimate, like
Yeah.
Earth Day, for example. Like they just don't really have
Columbus.
any.
Day.
Like Columbus Day. Like nobody gives a fuck about Columbus anymore, right?
He discovered America.
But he didn't really. So
He discovered, like, the
his bullshit.
Caribbean,
His
mostly.
bullshit claim has been refuted, and really, what's left after that? He didn't start a successful colony. He didn't really do anything except sail over here and waste a bunch of time.
Pretty much. But he wasn't the most reputable of men.
Sure.
Either, he was just kind of like this sleazebag that was trying to make his way, and
Exactly. He,
They're like,
he was
"Really?
basically
We
a
have
beggar who masqueraded as he's just like, oh, I'm an explorer. Give me money and ships and stuff. It's like, you're not an explorer if you don't have your own ships and shit.
yep,
You're just
And-
a guy. So what? We're gonna just put you in charge because you asked?
pretty much.
Fuck that.
And he skipped corners everywhere. He hired a bunch of prisoners and probably rapists and murderers to be part
Well, you
of
got to
his
keep
crew.
that money yourself, and then also when if you do discover some new land and there's some people that already own it, do you want to be with a bunch of rapists and murderers who can handle themselves in a
That is
fight?
true.
Or do you want a bunch of mamby-pambies like trying to sketch out the coastline and create accurate maps.
Sure.
You know,
I think sailors
I'll
are
I'll
tough.
toss my lot in with the
rapists.
rapists and the murderers. The guys who have served hard time. Also, because that they can be confined into a small space and handle it relatively well, and whereas like you get a guy from the universities of the day or whatever.
Sure.
They've probably never done a day of work in their life other than read some books and stuff. And
But they're
probably
cartographers.
yeah, I mean, and they have that skill, but beyond that, they're probably pretty much worthless.
Yeah.
I don't want that guy in my corner.
You want the tough motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, it makes sense. I see.
shit, if I want to survive back in the day,
Yeah. Oh, and you have to. And they're, shitty people, so you don't have any problem just kind of throw them overboard,
sure,
Fuck this
yeah,
guy.
like he's a criminal.
Yeah.
Who
They don't
cares?
have souls.
He didn't show up. What happened? Disciplinary action.
Yeah. And that's
And
totally
they're
valid.
just like, makes sense. He was a criminal. I'm not sure why you brought him on board. And you're just like, well, he had his qualities.
Yeah. So that's why Columbus Day is kind of bogus.
Columbus Day's shit.
What's the other one?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ones. I don't know. Like foreign holidays are always kind of a thing where it's just like, Cinco de Mayo. Why are we celebrating that? Like, I understand because we all want to get fucked up, but Mexican Independence Day shouldn't really be like as big a deal. Like every supermarket in America on leading up to and on Cinco de Mayo is like Cinco de Mayo, woo! Like it is. They have just as big. They make just as big a deal of it as like our Independence Day,
Right? And they don't even pronounce it correctly. It's like Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I celebrate. No, I don't celebrate the Cinco de Mayo. I'm just kidding. But, it is an important day.
I mean, I like.
In Mexico getting its independence. It's important. With
who did they get their independence from? Probably Spain.
Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I probably should have guessed that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And Pancho Villa, bro. He was,
I mean, really, was
well,
Spain all that tough at any
yeah,
point?
Well, the Spanish were assholes, bro.
I mean,
they're
we-
like the worst.
We fought
assholes.
the Spanish-American War, and we hardly even think about it anymore because
Yeah.
it was just like whatever. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, that's
Because
probably
I
how
mean,
it was.
because I enjoy war history and stuff like that, and I don't know shit about the Spanish-American War because it probably sucked.
Yeah, it was just kind
It
of
was
a
just
bleep
like,
on the
whatever.
radar. Bloop,
Yeah.
here and then. Here
Yeah.
and gone.
It's like French and Indian War. Who cares?
Yeah.
So
Any other shitty holidays? I don't know.
I don't know. There's any religious holidays that like people not of that religion. So like Christmas, all kinds of people who are not necessarily Christian celebrate it, so it's like legitimate.
Sure.
But then there's a bunch of other holidays that are religiously oriented that people do not celebrate. All those holidays are bullshit.
Talking about Hanukkah.
Yeah.
What's the black one?
Kwanzaa?
There you go.
Is that tied to a religion or is that tied to like awareness?
I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure that like Kwanzaa is just like and this is just me showing my ignorance, but I'm pretty sure that it's not tied to a religion. It's just kind of like hey, black
everyone
culture.
else is having a holiday. Let's throw
Right,
it in
yeah,
for us,
like
huh?
fuck it, black culture, because I don't know. I'm
The
not
most
really
I
sure
know about Kwanzaa is from Futurama again. Just like Kwanzaa bot, and he's like delivering presents, and he's like in a Jamaican outfit or a
Uh-huh.
South American outfit, and it's like, oh, what are you doing, Kwanzaa bot? Oh, just distributing some Kwanzaa awareness books, and that was their present, for Kwanzaa.
What the fuck is Kwanzaa?
Pretty much, it'll be something for the Google machine, but
Yeah, I mean
not
all
for
of
this opportunity.
right. I mean all of those holidays are completely bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Valentine's Day. What do you think? Because I like okay. So here's the thing: is and I've never been good about being spontaneously romantic and stuff
Okay.
like that. And I definitely look back and think like, okay, that's something like in a number of situations I should have done. I should have been, but I was always kind of afraid of like, is this just going to come off like cheesy and not
Yes.
cool, like not genuine because I'm doing this?
Yes.
And sometimes, it's so easy to get wrapped up in your own bullshit
I know,
and
yeah.
just not think about other people and not take a moment to say, hey, you're really special to me, and guess what? I've planned a special dinner or whatever.
Sure.
Done something romantic, been good about it. I think Valentine's Day is like capitalizing on an idea that you should do that, but then basically making it everything that I was afraid of. It's so cheesy, it's so overdone, it's just like yuck. And it's still kind of one of those things where it's just like, I don't know, am I just being a dick and just saying it's stupid and it shouldn't be a thing? Because I'm not against the actions, I'm just against the whole thing where it's just like everybody does it this day because it's the day to do it.
Sure.
You know?
But that goes with any holiday, like Christmas. For
Christmas.
instance. Like, do you just give gifts one day a year, or should you be giving gifts throughout the entire year? Like, hey,
Right.
I thought about you, I saw something, and I thought this would be great for you,
Right.
or whatever. So I think that's the same kind of logic you apply to Valentine's Day. But I think it's always nice to do something special for Valentine's Day because that's the day, you know. And if you don't do it over the year, like, why don't you just do it that day, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been guilty of, you know, like you were describing, just getting in your head and kind of wrapped up in your own shit. Well, I don't want to be doing this because everyone else is doing it. And my love means more than just for fucking commercial Hallmark.
Right, but at the same
holiday
time, still
that
not.
doesn't mean shit, you know?
But at the same time, still not like doing any of that kind of
Exactly.
stuff ever. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean that's the big thing. Is like I never, put the time into
So
romance.
have you ever had a Valentine's Day that's been very kind of romantic?
No.
No?
No, and I would say that that's probably completely my fault. Like because I'd just be like, that's so stupid. And I think that I make a good argument, but the issue is that I didn't say that's so stupid, I'm not doing it on Valentine's Day. It was just but I'll do it, like I'll do that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and I'll be romantic, and I'll show you how much you mean to me. Other times, like I also didn't do that, so it was.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I mean,
this is
it
why
wasn't.
we're single.
Yeah, right. So yeah, you live and learn.
I've had some really great Valentine's Days. Some of them have been really fun. A couple of them have been kind of lonely. That's okay too. But I tell you one thing: Valentine's Day turns into an aphrodisiac for some women.
Well, I think it can, if you go, well, it's like any kind of bullshit holiday or whatever, like, not to say that like New Year's Eve is bullshit, because I think that's pretty legit. It's like, fuck, a year. Like, let's think about it.
Yeah.
But essentially, you go out, get wasted, and there's just a ton of people out, just like, you know what? Fuck. Like,
Exactly.
fuck. This, everything is not.
Let's wash our hands by getting them dirty right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to just live.
Yeah.
Time is passing. I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
Let's just be alive
Let's
right
just
now.
be alive
Let's just be
together.
in this moment and alive.
Yeah.
And then on Valentine's Day, it's like, I may not be with somebody right now, but that's my choice because I'm not in love. But that doesn't mean that I can't feel love. That doesn't mean that I can't get out there and,
and give love.
Toss a salad or two. No. No, I don't know.
Lucky girl there, Steve. Lucky girl.
Right?
Speaking of which,
What?
I want to so one of my favorite things about getting fucked up, and as I was like a kid, going to house parties and shit, you stay all night and then you wake up in the morning, get breakfast or whatever, and you kind of clear up the fogginess between you guys, because you'll remember like a certain aspect of the night, but then your buddy who is experiencing it doesn't remember shit because he was blacked out drunk.
Sure.
So you kind of like tell stories after the night of the debauchery.
Sure.
So last week, Steve and I went to a concert.
Mm-hmm.
Fantagram. Fucking wonderful.
Sure.
She's a beautiful singer and talented artist, and
Yeah,
so is her
good songs.
her man or whatever.
He's
other
a
guy.
beautiful singer.
The other guy, he's there.
Great legs.
Yeah, dude. Did you notice that a lot of the girls looked like her?
Well, they're trying to anyway.
Yeah. When we were over at the Chama tap room, there was like 3 or 4 girls that had like the short haircut.
Yeah.
Hair, and I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
totally.
I love this. Every girl looks like Fantagram.
Right? See, and that's what I realized about shows is like I need to start going to shows where, it's just like maybe the music isn't my type, but maybe the girls are.
Yeah.
Because I always go to like hip hop shows and shit where it's just a bunch of like dudes. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah. So,
So
we
anyway.
went to the concert. We had a great time.
Yeah.
It was really quality, sound
Good-
and
good production,
Like, freaking
good time.
talented artists,
Yeah.
I think one of their most, distinguishing aspects is their light show. It was a pretty good light show,
Yeah, for that venue, usually there's not a whole lot of stage production
Yeah.
possibilities.
No,
at
it's
the
small.
Sunshine.
Yeah, it's definitely small.
Well, and it's just like old. I don't think they really have the the equipment to
Sure.
interface.
It'll take like a whole new remodel.
Yeah,
to really
even if the
revamp that
band
place.
even if the band brought all the equipment, there's not necessarily everything to plug it into
Yeah.
and interface with the soundboard and
Sure.
whatnot. Yeah.
Well, we're enjoying ourselves. We're getting a little toasty by drinking a lot.
Sure.
And Steve is just this beautiful fellow, and it just attracts women.
Okay, well, here's the thing though, is there was the point in the night where you were just like, I don't know, because at this point, the tally is I had 3 beers before the show.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went in and we had 2
Strong
vodka
drinks.
Red Bulls each,
Yeah.
right? After that, I didn't feel totally drunk or anything like that. Like, I didn't feel crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but I started to kind of lose moments because I felt like I kind of remembered everything, but I know I'm definitely oblivious because at one point you said to me, "Dude, just kiss her." I was
Does
just
that
like,
really sound like that?
no, I'm just
Dude,
I'm just
good and Mac
well,
on
I'm
that
just
bitch.
I'm just being a caricature of you at the moment. You're just like, "Dude, just kiss her," and I was just like, "What?"
Well, this is-
And to this point, I was completely unaware of like another person, like
Yeah.
whoever you're talking to. Like, I'm just like, in my memory, I hear this in my ear from you, and I'm just like, what? And I look over, and there's some girl, and I'm just like, fuck it.
See, but you guys were talking.
well,
She was talking to you, and you were talking back to
what?
her. Yeah.
Really?
So this is why I'm surprised that you
Oh.
were kind of like not
Okay, so
feeling it, because I'm like, dude,
so
just kiss her already.
Here's my blacking out then, because like I don't really recall that.
I think that when you're mixing alcohol with like energy drinks or whatever, it
Sure.
kind of makes you black out a little more frequently.
It mu-
because it's like you're doing the depressants with stimulants.
Sure.
Anytime you do that,
It-
your brain just kind of goes haywire.
But I'm also having to learn my new limits because as I get older, my blackout limit is so much closer than it used to be. Because like
Yeah.
I used to drink myself to throwing up and stuff like that, and I wouldn't lose a moment.
Yeah.
But now, I have a couple of drinks and I'm like, yeah, I'm fully drunk, but like I'm not belligerent or
Sure.
anything, and I'll lose big gaps. So anyway, I remember I remember then just being like making out with. Also, I don't really remember what she looks like, which could be good, could be bad. I don't know. Anyway, so
What do your hands tell you?
my hands tell me.
Yeah, you were holding her. You were walking with her. You guys were holding hands.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyway, I remember that. I remember her conning an older gentleman to. I remember joking with her because this old guy said that she was his girlfriend, and I was just like, "That's cool," and she was just like, "No, he's not." And
Dude,
I'm-
that old
and-
guy wanted every girl that was around him, and like was
Yeah.
trying to possess every one of them.
Right, and but the way he tried to do that was then to like buy drinks for them, and she was like taking my drink order, and I was just like, I don't want to be picky or anything, so I was just like, whatever, like I'm not paying for it,
Sure.
like whatever. I don't know what I was having, but he bought it. I know that. She
Wait, is this
supplied it
still
to
at
me.
the venue?
This is still at the venue.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I might have had one. I might have had 2 drinks.
Oh,
I don't know.
shit.
Like I think at this point I'm kind of
You hit the threshold.
I've gone from drunk to fucked up.
Huh? Okay.
So now I'm fairly well shit faced.
All right.
And probably I don't know.
See, well, you guys just keep on like she had her hands all over you. So that's why I'm kind of surprised that you don't remember much about her.
I don't.
So you seem like you were doing well. You were doing your own little thing, and I was just kind of like, all right, way to go, Steve. Then there was her other little nerdy friend. I don't know if they're friends or if they're together or whatever. Do you remember the other girl that was there?
No.
No.
There was another girl?
Yeah, there was another one.
Jeez.
And then the old guy comes by, and he's like trying to intervene, and I don't know, she just like comes to me, and like we bump shoulders, and we're just like dancing a little bit. And then the old guy comes over, he's like, "You're picking him?" Like pointing at me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right? Fuck you,
Yeah.
old man. I'll kick you in your knee and it'll
Seriously.
never work again.
Seriously. But, I just kind of go about doing my own thing, enjoying the concert. I'm not really too preoccupied
Yeah,
with
I mean,
trying to,
I do remember like the songs of the concert and stuff like that. I remember like when a couple of like the songs that I'm actually more familiar with
Yeah.
came on, and I'm just like, fuck yeah. And I remember I'm taking like photos and stuff
Yeah.
with my camera
You
because I'm like,
Instagrammed a picture.
yeah, like, well, I Instagrammed it the next day because like I usually just take photos and then
Oh, okay.
because like with the camera phone you have to wait for the with and
You
especially
you
with
have
their
to pick
light
a good picture.
well especially with their light show like from the time that I hit take and then it actually takes it
You get
and
the
then
beam
it gets
pointing
the light
straight.
yeah like you don't know what you're gonna get
Sure.
so you end up taking like 50 just to get like 2 decent
Yeah.
photos and I think I'm a pretty good camera phone concert photographer
Sure.
at this point. I go for the real artsy I don't know. Anyway, I like them. Yeah, so like I do remember like thoroughly enjoying the concert, but I'm not really.
You don't remember her.
I remember her, but I don't remember the flirting like that she was doing to me that precipitated you telling me to make out with her and like because when you were like just make out with her, I was just like, what? Who? Oh, okay. And of course I'm just like, why not? Fuck yeah. So, so like there was that, and then
I like to think I'm a pretty good wingman. Like,
oh, you're a great wingman because I was looking at my texts, and there was a point where you were like, I don't, and it's like from like 10:45 or something like that. So like the show or
The show was
whenever
over.
the show let
Oh.
out, and you were like, I'm at my car, and you gave me like coordinates to it. Like what cross streets and stuff, even though like I do remember even now like where we parked because
Yeah.
that happened earlier and stuff. And you were like, I'm gonna wait 30 minutes before leaving, and I was just like, damn, like that's a fucking wingman right there. Someone who's just like, I don't like I lost you. You're with somebody, but I don't know what your plans are, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait 30 minutes. I have to commend you on that because that's a friendly thing to do, just to like wait in the car.
hey man,
waiting
if
for
you're doing your
whatever.
thing, then you need to have whatever you need to make you succeed.
Right.
Well, that's my mentality. I wish there was more of my friends that were like that, but I will be your fucking wingman. Anyway,
Likewise.
perfect.
I
Except you're being
I wish I knew
selfish.
like a Top Gun like quote, like I don't know.
Shake and bake?
Yeah, sure.
Sure,
Shake and
we'll
bake.
go with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so concert's over.
Concert's
For some
over.
reason, you guys are stuck like glue now, right? You guys
I
are
suppose,
together,
yeah.
and you've already befriended her whole group, which kind of happened randomly.
Yeah, I don't know.
After I sent you that text message, you called me up. Hey man, we're over at the Chama Tap Room again. Come back. Beers are on me. I'm like,
Oh, really?
all right, whatever.
Oh, this explains some credit card activity.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, good.
So I'm in my car. I was waiting for you. So I drive back over to the Chama River Tap Room. I find a better parking spot. I go and walk in, and you have like this little group around you. I'm like, oh, right on, Steve. And we're just kind of talking, and you buy me a drink, and we're just hanging out again.
Yeah.
And it's friendly, that guy was super nice. That girl was really into you, and then the other really nerdy girl was just kind of weird. I think I just gave her like a bad vibe, but
You gave her a bad vibe?
yeah, because at one point in the night, a lot of girls like to talk about their sign, and this was the girl. You don't even know her name, do you?
No.
Okay, that's probably for the best. Anyway, she goes around. She's like, "Oh, I'm a Sagittarius. Whatever. What's your sign?" No. First, they ask you if you have any tattoos, and you just like freaking pull up your shirt at the bar and
Classy.
you just show like your naked white body.
Right.
And then the guy that was there, he's like, "Oh, is that Bosnia or
Yeah, total.
Sarajevo or whatever?" And you just like eat that up. You're like, "Yes!" And you guys just like get into like fucking tattoo war talk because he had like some other tattoo or something on it. But then that dies down. She starts talking about signs and whatever. You talk about yours or whatever, and then
Because we learned about that on the podcast.
yeah, we did. We totally did.
Did I use my knowledge of that? Because I'm not remembering
You just
any
kind
of
of
this.
drop. You kind of like, well, I don't know what mine is. I think I'm like a Scorpion or something like that. And they're like, oh,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
this one.
So I'm playing it nonchalant.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just like, whatever.
They ask me. I start channeling in my inner Jim Morrison, and all I could think of is
You're the snake?
no. Jim Morrison
Right,
says,
yeah.
I'm one of the more. No. What does he say? It's like Sagittarius, one of the more philosophical of signs. But I don't say Sagittarius first. And then the nerdy girl's like, I could already tell that I'm not going to like you. I'm like, perfect. Get out of here then.
Right.
And then
See, I do remember going to Anodyne, though.
okay, because we
So that
walk
must
over
have
to
been
Anodyne
after.
after that. But for some reason, like you're talking, and I was talking with the guy, and then
Mhm.
you're talking with your target or your girl or whatever,
My
and we run into K May. Remember that
Who?
Maynard?
Oh,
You don't remember running into him?
no.
Oh, well, he was standing right outside of Anodyne.
Uh,
But before that, I was kind of just walking on my own, and the girl that you're with was started talking to me, and she was super nice, dude. Like very nice, like wanted to know about me, and
uh-huh.
want to know a little bit about you. So I think she was a really nice, good quality person
Oh,
that you encountered that night.
yeah.
We go into Anodyne, and you just start ordering more drinks,
Mm.
and yeah.
So this is a train. This is a runaway train.
Yeah, this is a runaway train, dude. It
Oh,
just
boy.
gained momentum, and it's just going off the rails, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they left for a while, and it was just me and you kind of entertaining each other.
Uh-huh.
And then they came back, and then you just started talking to that girl, and I guess I just kind of got bored.
Sure.
Left.
Well, I mean, you put up with enough.
Well, I don't know. I was having fun at the show. I don't really know how much I wanted to get, messed up, and I know I had like a long day the next day.
Yeah,
or
for
something
sure. Like
that, so.
I was like free for the weekend.
Yeah, it was already like
unusual,
midnight by
so I
that
was
point,
just like,
so I'm
"Woo."
like, yeah, I'm ready to call it.
Yeah.
So I left after that, and you made sure that you had plenty of cab money and whatever.
So responsible.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Sure. Yeah, because I do remember taking a cab somewhere, and I remember being on a couch, and I remember some probably not very good vigorous making out and some over the clothes vagina touching.
And then
That's it, I think, because I mean, I passed out. I mean, when I woke up, I was fully clothed. So was she. Like I don't think anything happened.
yeah, so you're fine.
So, yeah. And then I was just like, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna be sick. And so I just like ran out and found like a landmark.
Yeah.
And called in for an evac. And I got scooped up by the first taker.
Nice, right on.
So
man.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was my.
Mr. Casanova over here.
Yeah, I'll aggressively masturbate your vagina after an unflattering amount of drinks.
Perfect.
Ladies.
Steve's still ready to mingle.
So, yeah, so I've learned a lot.
Good. That's what
No.
life is for.
Not really.
No? All right.
I
Well, let's
don't-
go back
well-
and make the same mistakes again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I've realized too that like this is kind of not really. I don't know. I think lately I've been getting into a lot of situations where I'm uncomfortable with the amount of attention that I'll get from somebody, and then I just start drinking like too much. So it's kind of one of those things where I think I need to like tone down my outside the house kind of drink.
Sure.
Just not getting so many drinks, and just kind of I don't know, because
Well-
I think the thing is like I'm just like not really into like I don't know, socializing in that kind of way and like the hookups and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm like, well, but I'm not like seeing anybody, so
Sure.
why not?
See, well,
So then
as
I
I
end
get
up just
older-
kind of like convincing myself to do it by getting like kind of faded and then not even like following through anyway. Because I really don't want to. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, well, I'll just fuck it. I'll have a couple drinks and do it.
Yeah.
And then I just don't anyway.
Yeah. Well, as I get older, like the whole hookups and one night stands or whatever, they aren't very appealing,
I mean, they're appealing to me, but only to people only with people that I would actually want it to be more than that. And so, I mean, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of not going all the way.
Yeah.
With anybody that I don't think I actually have like some kind of attraction as far as like, yeah, I would at least see what this person is about, by like trying to date them or something.
Yeah. But it's weird because we live in a society where you need to kind of get to know someone, and you want to get to know someone quickly,
Sure.
And I think a lot of the attitude and mindset is okay to sleep with someone on the first date because you get to filter out so much bullshit
Sure.
so
I
immediately.
mean,
But then you
totally.
also have a lot of bullshit to deal with afterwards.
Yeah.
So instead of like tiptoeing through life, you just kind of dive right in, and that's something that I appreciate. It's something that I like, but it's not something that really you know does it for me.
Yeah, I think hooking up with people on the first date and all that stuff, or even just casual hookups, is just fine. But at the moment, I just don't. I guess I'm just not emotionally
Yeah.
into that right now.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, there's no one there to really, and you shouldn't be emotionally attached to someone. The first couple dates that you meet them.
Sure.
So that's something that comes with it.
No,
But
I think
always good
it's
to,
always kind of like
you-
a potential issue where it's just like, do I feel like this person is potentially, because immediately when you meet somebody, you'll know whether you're just kind of like, yeah, within 10 minutes of meeting somebody, I basically have a bead on,
I think within 30 seconds
kind
of
of-
meeting someone.
well, I mean, talking to them, getting to know them a little more. I mean, 10 seconds is usually like the physical, unless you're fucking blackout drunk like me. Anyway, but in the first 10, 20 seconds whether you're attracted to them.
Yeah.
Then in the first 10 minutes of talking to them, kind of about who they are. And then, through dating, you try to unravel and figure out exactly who they are, and if they're actually going to be, somebody that you're interested in. And the thing is just everyone I meet, I'm just kind of like, meh,
See, and
not, I'm not invested, and I'm not going to be.
I don't try to understand who they are, but I look.
It's not about trying, though. It's like,
But I'm talking
You
more
just get
about
that.
feeling, the chemistry that comes between
Right.
you two. When you guys are like clicking and everything's just kind of fun and lighthearted, and you're able to have really easy, witty, playful conversation. I think the technical term.
I imagine that witty is the last thing on, the other evening.
Well, that's why I don't know. It depends on what you're looking for that night.
Sure.
That night you were having fun. You weren't giving a shit about anything.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you're like going out with the intention of like, well, let's make a one night stand or whatever, then you're not gonna get like belligerent,
Sure.
But you could be drunk as fuck too, and you meet someone, and you guys are just like super playful.
Yeah, I mean, if it had
So
been the right
then
person,
it's
it would just
interesting,
work,
yeah.
But yeah, that's not always the
Yeah,
case,
I think
or
she was
really
definitely a
ever the
lot
case.
sober than you were.
Well, yeah,
Sober.
and she was like, thinking back to it, the most of the interactions that I remember is she was like pumping drinks into me. So, which is why, like, I don't remember what she looks like, but I have a feeling that I was probably outranking her. if you catch my drift.
Yeah, well, I agree, Steve.
So, I don't know.
Her little friend was super paranoid about me roofing her drink. Like,
Really?
she ordered a
Because
drink.
maybe that was like, maybe I was
Maybe you
roofied.
were roofied, so that's
Yeah.
why I'm thinking maybe they had like roofies on them, and they were, oh man, it's just gonna backfire.
They were
on me or
or they
something.
were just thinking, like, if we're doing it, then
Everyone else is doing
why
it too.
wouldn't they be doing
Sure.
it? Yeah.
Because we're at Anodyne, you're ordering a drink with her, and then
With who?
With your girl.
Uh-huh.
whatever. And then the guy was there, and he was gonna buy me a drink. I'm like, no, I'm not drinking right now. And the little nerdy girl, whatever, she wasn't even nerdy. She just had glasses. She was kind of.
She just had
And
glasses.
she was kind of weird looking.
Nerd.
No, well, she kind of had like a pin. Sorry, I'm an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, she's like, "Oh, get me some mango, whatever," and she leaves. The drinks come, and I'm like, "Oh, that looks good." And he's like, "Here, drink it, try it." I'm like, "Okay." The girl comes back. I'm like, "You have a delicious drink." I hand it back to you. She's like, "What did you do to it?" And I'm like, "I put roofies in it," with the most like sarcastic tone I could come up with,
Yeah.
because I don't want anyone to think I put roofies in their drink.
Right.
But she's like, wait, seriously? I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. So I take a sip out of it.
Serious? Yeah, seriously?
I just take a sip and I hand it back to her. And she's like, oh, God, whatever. You're scaring me. And I'm like, girl, relax, man. You
like,
already
well,
you already said that I annoy you. I'm not going to, like, fuck with you any further. Like, there's no possible,
Right.
there's nothing that I'm gonna get out of this.
See what I'm getting from her though. If she keeps talking to you and she says that you annoy her and this and that, but she's still kind of hanging around and
Maybe it
having
was
you get her drinks.
way.
Yeah, that was her like weird way, because I know some people like this where, and it bugs the shit out of me, but
Yeah.
they're just kind of those people that they don't really know how to flirt, so they just kind
Yeah.
of cause conflict,
Yep.
and they like to be like, oh no, well, whatever, and
And
it's
I think that's exactly
that's
what it
kind
was.
of yeah,
But I didn't.
Very
wanna, I
unattractive.
didn't want to play.
yeah,
So. No.
yeah,
Roofies.
yeah.
You probably got
right.
roofied, Steve. How's your butt feel?
It's fine,
Fine.
but I wouldn't notice, would I?
Nope. I'm thinking you like passed out, and then she's like, "All right, time to get to business."
No, I think
she
probably
gave you like bar AIDS or something, or
no. I mean,
bar
I
herpes?
imagine what probably happened was just that I was so fucked up that I was just not. When you're just like real drunk and you're just kind of like a zombie.
Yeah.
I was probably just like a zombie, and she's just like, yeah, even if like this does work out, like it's not cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
I think she was older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much older do you think?
Early 30s.
Early 30s?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I mean, age ain't nothing but a number, right?
No, it's more than that.
What is it?
Experience.
Oh yeah. Well,
gravity.
Well, that's that. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Like, age ain't nothing but a number to a point, I should say, because too young, yuck. Too old, yuck for different reasons. It's just kind of like meh.
I got a drunk dialed last night.
Oh yeah,
Multiple times.
by who?
My no, not that one.
Oh really? Oh yeah,
The cougar.
The cougar.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Exactly, dude.
And then what happened?
She was wasted, dude. She called me like 5 times the other night. Like the first time it was like at 6 p.m. And she's like, "What are you doing, Mark?" I'm like, well, first of all, I'm like, do I want to answer this or do I not want to answer? Like, fuck it. I'm kind of drunk. I'll answer it. I'll fuck around with her a little bit. And she's like, well, we're just having a good time being awesome people. Where are you at? Let's hang out. And I'm like, well, I'm on the west side. I'll think about it. And she's like, oh, don't be like that. And she's like, well, just come over. When can I come pick you up? I'm like, I'll call you. She's like, oh, all right. Well, we're having a great time. That's perfect, Steve.
And then what happened?
So I just kind of went on with my day. But then she calls me back at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Mark, what's going on? For some reason, I'm bored, so I'm like, I'll answer it. Sure, why not? This music's too much.
Keep going.
And then she's like, I'm at Q Bar. I'm about ready to get out of here. Do you want to come pick me up, or should I come find you? Do you want to meet somewhere? And I'm like, you know what? I want you to have a good time. Once you're done hanging out, you give me a call. I'll come pick you up.
Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah. So I was having too much fun.
You
with
were
that.
having too much fun.
Okay. So anyway, where you were potentially going to pick her up.
Yeah, but it's just kind of one of those things that you do with people to agree with them, when they're
Sure.
really drunk.
Oh, so you told her you were going to pick her up and then didn't?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
oh,
I said once she was done hanging out at Q Bar to give me a call, and then I could go pick her up.
Right. And
But then I never heard back from her.
oh, okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Because that would be fucked if you're just like, yeah, I'll be right there. I'll meet you. And she's just all wasted out front by herself.
Sitting outside, yeah,
just
crying.
Yeah, smoking a cigarette. Just, fuck, where's my life?
I used to be hot.
Right?
What happened?
That would just be so crushing.
Now I can't even bribe someone to pick me up.
Right?
Oh, man.
It used to be after this.
It must suck to be a woman.
I mean, I think it sucks to be everybody these days.
Yeah,
like everybody. Nobody's happy.
Fair enough.
That's the way I see it. Maybe some people are, or at least maybe they tell themselves they are. But I mean,
I'm very happy.
From my perspective, nobody's happy.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh,
But that's my fault.
I'll make you happy, Steve.
Yeah.
I got what you need.
Really?
Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, if I thought being gay with you would make me happy, I'd do it. But I don't. I really just can't imagine a scenario where that makes me happy. Or
Yeah.
I feel like
I
that
don't
would just
know.
make me uncomfortable.
I think we like fight a lot, like not like relationship fight, but like kick each other's ass a lot. So I don't want to fantasize about our gay relationship anymore, Steve. Let's just keep it at that. And
We'll just keep it a fantasy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You imagine what you want to imagine.
Sure. Anyway.
Anyway, be good to each other.
Yeah. You wanna end this one?
Time for the PSA.
Okay. Let me get the PSA music going that we're gonna copyright infringed for. Or something.
What's that buzzing noise?
Some feedback somewhere, and I gotta track that down.
Okay.
All these cables,
Cables. What do you know?
Manage your cables.
Manage
That's the PSA for
Manage
today.
your paths and your direction in life.
Just like cables, because your paths, if they're too close to each other, they cause weird feedback, which is not necessarily prohibitive of what you're doing, but
But when you have two signals and their
just not
feedback
good.
matches up, sometimes that signal can get amplified.
Sure.
So two signals can make a better signal.
Sure. Anyway, something like that.
Something like that.
Good night.
I love you.